Hi everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. I'm recording this immediately after the preceding video, so if you're watching this before that one, definitely go watch that one before that. I'll have a card popping up within the first 20 seconds or so of this to take you there. This video is looking at the game project that we're putting together with my class. We're building something from the ground up using P5 Play and Tone in order to give it just about everything you would really need in a game environment. What we're going to be doing in this short video is tidying up all of the code from before. So what I've got right here is a new line in the index file. Again, this is the normal index.html. You've seen it a bunch, but there's a new line right here. This is just some placeholder name, but what we're going to be doing is tidying up the sketch file so that way it's not a bunch of stuff to try to find anything. We can much more easily find what we need to do. The way that we're going to do that is pretty straightforward, but if you haven't thought to do it, you may not think of it. And what we're going to be doing is essentially making a whole bunch of JavaScript files and linking to them for our main sketch. So this is why I've got the sketch files editor open. So if we just go to create file, which is something we don't do a whole lot, we go to create file. There it is. We'll make some things here. So I'm going to call this one walls.js. We'll make it. We're also going to make enemies.javascript and make it. And we'll make keys.js and make that. Oop, that's a folder. I wanted to make a file. So I've made all of that. And what I'm going to do to start with is basically just copy and paste or cut and paste and take all the stuff from the sketch files and put them in the necessary areas. So for example, I've got right here, here's some key stuff. So I'm going to copy, delete, go into keys.js, paste that there, hop back into my sketch. Here we are, we're making the keys, copy, delete, paste. Back into sketch. Let's do the walls stuff now. So make walls, copy, walls, paste. It's going to save that, and we can delete it from this one. Although I didn't select everything I wanted to. It got everything when we pasted it. Okay. So we'll get that. We'll keep the player stuff here, but we don't necessarily have to. I had one for enemies. Yeah, so we've got make and move enemies. I'll go ahead and stick function ouch. And why not game over? Because we can only get a game over when we come in contact with the enemies. And we'll paste all of that into there. Am I missing anything? That's there. I'll make another one for any UI elements. UI.javascript sketch function. Right now, there's only one function in our UI stuff, but as we add more complex parts to our UI, we'll probably add more to that. You could also put all these things in folders to organize them a bit better if you want. I'm just going to leave them over here for now. So let's just look through all the stuff. I'll go ahead and stick new level inside of keys because we can only get a new level once we've got all the keys. All right, so I've broken all this up. One thing I'm also going to do is maybe break up some of these. Now we'll leave them all defined here in just one spot. But what we have to do next is hop into that index file and tell it where to find the files. So since we're doing all of this in the sketch itself, we don't have to have a full big URL like we do for the other libraries, but we're essentially doing just the same thing we're doing up here where we say, hey, go look at this JavaScript code and include that in your memory. And that's what we're doing right here. So we'll say UI.javascript, copy, paste. And if I actually, before we even get to that, if I comment that out and refresh it, all the stuff is broken because it's not in this sketch anymore. So what we'll do is just say, well, then go find it at these spots. Paste, paste. Keys. Wall. Let me just make sure. UI, enemy, keys, wall. Okay, that should be it. So we run this. It's all working now. But we've now broken this up into several smaller, more manageable chunks. We didn't necessarily have to, but it makes it a lot easier to read through all of the things to figure it out. So this main sketch.js is basically the setup and draw function, and in this case, moving the player because I really didn't have a great spot to put it in right here. So let's just go through now and make some comments to label all this. Level ending sprite. Keys. This could also go there. There we are. And then I'll make all of this. Things related to the player. Walls and enemies. Again, there are many better ways we probably could have broken down our variables. We probably got a few redundant ones hiding in there, but we're not doing that for right now. We're not breaking down all that. Copy. And on here, let those. So, player health, copy, should go up here. So that's there. So we've labeled that, set up the level size, health. So I'm just kind of labeling all the bits, so it's, when we come back to this in the future, we know what all the things are. Comments are very helpful, and I said this would include everything that we've done so far in my class, and we've definitely done comments in my class, even though the sketches from my students would have you not believe that, but we're not going to go down that road right now. Resets every level. Keys per floor. For checking, we may make this random. Spawns the keys. Walls. This part of the video is going to be pretty boring. It's just, again, labeling all the stuff. Spawns walls. Spawns enemies. Makes door. Makes player. Okay, so that part's there. Again, for movement. Set speed. Player damage. Enemy movement. Player movement. on-screen UI. Okay. Ins level. Collects the keys. So again, I'm just labeling all the bits right here. So in the UI, we'll say this is the instructions. Those are going to be pretty self-explanatory because it tells us right here what it's displaying. I'm not going to label that. Under the enemies, that makes the enemies here. Right, that sets all the properties. Cool. Initial movement, random movement, direction. When this is called only when the sprite collides with another sprite in the draw function. Oh. So this one is when the player gets hurt when out of health. This is the damage indication section. Well, I'd like to have it be some kind of immortal. Win, lose the game. Right there, just so that way we can even move without immediately being hit. Again, this is literally just labeling all the stuff. That's why it's going to be a much, much shorter video. With a key sprite. Spawns the keys. All right. So that's there. And the last one, but not least, is the walls, which just has this one really big function. Again, the way I set up this one was not probably, I say probably, almost certainly, I haven't checked every possible option, but not the most concise way to do this, but it's effective. So we make a sprite, and then based off of what level what iteration the for loop is on, we'll set its properties to something different, and then because we declare the sprite here, we can make it done separately. I've also made it stupidly thick. Just in case something somewhere I forgot to set a flag that makes it so that something could potentially move the wall. Well, because we're doing a bunch of physics calculations by giving it this absurdly high mass value, pretty much nothing will be able to push it, and that's just in case I goof up later on. Simple wall. Screens for sides. So yeah, we can't see the boundaries at all. If we wanted to, we could go in and just say boundary dot color equals color, and I'll make them, I don't know, pink or magenta, I guess. This way, now at the moment, even if we made the canvas a lot bigger, we still wouldn't be able to see it because it's going to match up with the canvas automatically. But, okay, did not like that. But I referred to it there. Oh, it's because I forgot a comma. There we are. But hypothetically speaking, we could then, scooch them in or whatever, and we will now be able to see them, and they'll all be a distinct color. Again, that's not really a thing we needed to add, but it was there. Distinct debug color. So I'll put that right there. Some of those are already labeled. Here we are. All the on-screen walls. As above. All of them appear identical. It's all pretty much right there. So, again, like I said, very, very short video. The reason I did all of this is for making my life and your life, by extension, and anyone else who looks at this code's life, easier. So, yes, it all works how we had it before, but why would you make your life and other people's lives harder when you don't have to? So having a lot of this, formatted so is, not just a massive wall of text to read through, will make solving bugs a lot easier. So if something breaks, and it's specifically, I know, the key has stopped working, we'll put my mouse over that key so I can actually see the mouse. Then I can hop over to the keys thing and start looking through there to see if there's a reason for it right there. And then I'll know, okay, it's not this stuff. It could be someone would find a lot more quickly where that is just by clicking and navigating to it. And then by adding the comments, I know, okay, this is, what these things are and what they do and important information. So always, always, always comment your code. This way, if I'll talk directly to my students here, that way when you're just like, hey, I've got a bug, and I'm looking at this sketch I've never seen before, we can figure out exactly what the heck we're looking at. So when in doubt, more comments. Okay, that's the end of that. I mean, it's the same thing. It's made for making bugs and repairing the code easier and just general, behaving better with your sketch. And it's common practice. If you're wanting to get a coding job and you never comment your code, I'd be shocked if you got a job. Comment your code. The fact that you made it is not what you that's not helpful because other people are going to look at your code. Naming your functions and variables, what they're useful for, this is the total number of keys in the sketch. Cool. But again, that's not super helpful if anyone other than you is looking at this code. So that's there. Rant over. I'm wrapping up this video now. With nothing listed. Tidy. There. So what I'm going to do as I'm ending this up is I'm going to just tidy up all of this code that we've made. There we are. I'll hop back into my sketch and save it all. So that will be when we wrap up this video. Again, significantly shorter recording time as I look at my other monitor at that. Because again, it was just, setting up all the stuff, making it easier for the future videos. So again, that took an hour and a half or so just to get to this point, and we have not done anything with any sound or any images or any kind of reactive elements other than just the sprites. So we're going to keep going, and there's, again, a lot more moving parts to this that we're going to add, and then once those are all done, because it has all of these moving parts, we can very easily attach these commands to these various other states of the different variables and sprites and other kinds of things. So stay tuned for that. And again, I'll end this one here. I'll post, this should be coming out, a day or two after the first video, and then the next one should come out a day or two after that. And we'll just keep going. So we'll wrap it up here. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. It's a much, much shorter video now. So I'm going to end it here, and I will see you next time I see you. Bye.